Hello and welcome to lesson 5 of our empty hand combat system, beginner's course. So as I've said many times already, it's not karate, not kickboxing, not Thai, not taekwondo, not jiu-jitsu, not Tai Chi. It's none of those things, but there are bits and pieces from all of them. And I wouldn't dream of saying it's any of those things. So it's a mixture, it's a bit of everything. Good, but hopefully it's enjoyable, and that's the most important thing, and it's useful. So just a quick statistic. I was looking up some statistics on the UK government website that have these. And did you know that we are 7 times more likely to die from a heart or an obesity related illness or really an obesity related condition than we are to die from a violent attack? 7 times. You know, so I think to put that into context, are we training against the wrong enemy? You know, because if I'm training all the time to think that I've got to prevent myself being attacked on the street in a violent encounter, yet it's 7 times more likely that I'm going to be attacked by my own laziness or inactivity or obesity, then am I up against the wrong enemy? It makes you wonder, doesn't it? So just bear that in mind, you know. The thing that we all need to combat is inactivity, obesity, being overweight, being unhealthy. The thing that we may, it's very unlikely, but that we may have to deal with is a violent attack. Now, fortunately, what I'm teaching you will help both, but most importantly, it will certainly help the inactivity without a shadow of a doubt. Okay, so let's get our priorities right and have fun, right? This has got to be fun. Good. All right, feet together, hands by your sides, have a bow. Good. All right, now I'm going to move around a bit, but rather than do leg swings and swinging movements to loosen up our muscles today, I'm going to do some seated stretching. All right, and I said I would, so it's just to give you an alternative. But I will move around a little bit first because I think it's important to get our blood flowing or whatever. All right, so let's do our side step. Let's just start small. Remember, start small, little steps, little side closes. Keep those knees soft, nice bent knees so you're not jarring your joints as you step across. Do all right, stretch them out a little bit, then go a little bit wider. Good. You should be able to feel the muscles around your groin and your bottom working as you do this, because obviously that's what's being activated as you step forward. Step from one side to the other. All right, let's go forward to back then. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but I tend to go forward with a leg and the other one catches up, and then back with the same leg. So at the moment I'm going left, so left, right catches up, left, right catches up, left, right catches up. Yeah? Good. That's nice. Right, now lead off with the other leg. So now I'm going right and my left catches up. Obviously, if you're mirroring, it's the other way around. It's good. Alright, good. We'll do a little bit of opposite, elbow to knee. So as I said, really the first part, this movement part, is about getting our blood flowing a little bit. Everything a little bit warmer than it was before we started, and then we can have a little bit of a stretch out. Good, right, so just pop yourself on the ground, sit down. Good. Legs wide, sort of a comfortable width. Good. Alright, now all I want you to do to begin with, put your hands on the floor in front of you, not here, hands on the floor in front of you, and I want you to lean forward into a stretch. Now this needs to be gentle, it needs to be a gentle pulse, not a jerky movement like this. This is how you're going to damage muscles, alright? So hands on the floor, and then you just lean in a gentle pulse forward. This way, good. Now it doesn't matter how many you do, obviously more has a better effect than less, or fewer, whatever. But 10's not a bad number. I'd go for 10. It's repetitive enough to let your muscle get the message by going over and over, but not so much that you get fatigue. Good, right, that must be about 10. Right, now I'm going to face my chest towards my foot, one on this side. I'm going to do exactly the same thing towards this side. So my action here is as though I'm pulling my upper part of my chest down towards my knee. Right, so I don't want to bend my head. I'm not trying to curve my back to stretch the muscles in my back. What I'm trying to do is lean in with my hips to stretch my hamstrings, the muscles on the back of my legs. Right, let's go. Come on, let's go over this side 10 times. Nice gentle pulses, remember. Don't jerk. One of the names that this type of stretching is given sometimes is ballistic stretching. And I always think that that name makes it sound like right, and that's absolutely the worst way to do it, alright? So it must be nice steady pulses. Right, let's go over to the other side. So turn and face this foot. Push down this way. And as I said in I think in the last class, I quite like this stretching when I'm sitting in front of the TV in the evenings. I can sort of do it absent-mindedly and do it for ages. And this sort of step, I could comfortably sit on the floor and stretch for half to 3/4 of an hour, 30 to 45 minutes, and it not be a problem. And I'm just doing it gently, I'm not putting any strain on my body. Right, so I'm going to move myself forward so my legs get pushed a little bit wider. And now I'm going to gently go from one side to the other. And remember, I am not bouncing or jerking, it's a gentle pulse. The ones that are squeezed to one side and then the other. So I'm squeezing over this side, squeezing back this side. And I find this really relaxing when I'm watching TV. I could say gaming, but I don't ever game. It's not my thing. But I imagine if you're gaming, you could do it. Is this right? Is this the correct action for gaming? The controller in your hand. Depends which controller, I guess. Alright, that's good. Right, now bring those feet in. Put your soles together. Good, and let's just gently pulse those knees. There's just a little bit of movement in there. Good, that's nice. Right, now put your elbows on your knees and gently ease down. Push down, good. Right, now I'm going to hold my toes and gently pull myself forward, stretching this way. And now for me this is a really good adductor stretch and also for my lower back. Which part of you actually stretches depends on which part is the most rigid. If you're rigid in your lower back, then you'll almost certainly get a stretch there first. But if you're not, then you'll probably feel it in your adductors and muscles on the inside here. Difficult to say exactly where you're going to feel it because we all have different levels of stiffness in different parts of our body. Good, alright, so let's put one leg straight, keep the other one tucked up, and stretch down to this side. We'll go for 10 again. 8, 9, and 10. And you can see that I'm pulsing gently. I'm really doing it really carefully. Just change sides. Good. Alright, then stretch forward. Wasn't always this careful. When I was younger I was less careful, but I think that's true of most people, isn't it? But as you get older, your body keeps reminding you to be careful, doesn't it? Which is quite useful, really. Good, nice gentle pulses. Alright, good. And then we'll put both legs straight and we'll gently ease ourselves forward, really. Alright, super stuff. Good. Now, if you enjoy this way of warming up, use it all the time. If it has a much better effect on you, or it's more enjoyable, then do that. It's completely open to you to do the things that suit you best. In my classes, I vary how we warm up. Often we'll sit and stretch like this. Sometimes we'll be on our toes, active, swinging our legs around and doing all sorts of other ways. I do often ask for feedback, say which people prefer, and generally I think there's about 70 to 30 in preference of a seated stretch like this. But I'm not sure about effectiveness. I'm not sure which is most effective. I think they're both okay. And there are lots of other ways of warming up as well. Good. All right, let's go. All right, now usually we start with kicks or punches or arm techniques or leg techniques, but today I want to start with basics, this marching forward and back thing. And the reason I want to do that is because I want us to practice a different stance, a forward stance and then a back stance. And now this is going to be easier if I show you going across the screen to begin with. Alright, let's begin with upper block. Now when we did upper block, we did a fold, we stepped into a forward stance. Remember the push the car stance? Yeah, so you had to push the car to help me get it started. Block up, and we folded. We did the same stance, we blocked up, and we folded and came backwards. Same stance, block up, and then we finished. Good, right, now I want to make some changes to that. That's okay, that's a good practice, but this is an additional practice. This is the next level, if you like. So when we go forward, we're going to make a forward stance, but when we come back, we're going to make a back stance. Now let me show you a back stance. I refer to back stance as a tug of war stance. So if I was in a tug of war team, and I had the rope here, I would be like this. I would be trying to pull myself backwards as much as possible, yeah? So this foot, I would have my toes pointing forward so that I can drive that into the ground and push myself backwards. I have my knee bent because once it's locked, I've got no movement at all. So it would be bent, but not very much. My back leg, I would have in line with my front leg, or at least close to in line. It doesn't have to be exactly in line, but fairly in line. This knee is bent much more because it's taking the strain as I pull backwards. Yeah? So, obviously we're not doing tug of war, but it's the best analogy, it's the best way I can think to describe it. It's this action coming backwards. Yeah? Alright, and hopefully you'll see in a moment why we want that action. So, this is a forward stance, you're pushing this way, you're helping me to get my car started. Come on, drop it in second gear, let the clutch drop, that sort of thing. Alright, and this is back stance, we're on this way, I'm pulling back, tug of war. Okay? Alright, let's see if we can make this work then. I'll stay across the screen and then hopefully you'll be able to see better. If I go towards you to begin with, it may be more difficult for you to see what I'm doing. Alright, so let's do upper block. So, good, now I'm going to step forward with my left leg, so I'm going to put my right hand on top. I'm going to step forward, make a forward stance, push the car stance and block up. Good, now I'm going to fold this hand on top, the hand I'm using at the moment. I'm going to step forward and I'm going to do the same again. Like this. Alright, now, I'm going to step backwards like we did before, but as I step backwards I'm going to make a back stance. Right, so it's still the same fold, this hand on top, I'm going to step back to a back stance, so I pull myself back more and block up this way. Now hopefully you can see why. I'm drawing away from a technique that's coming towards my head, and I'm blocking up this way. Yes, you see I'm pulling away from it? Now we've only done this from a left stance, so we'll do one more, step back, block, and then we'll come back to the start position. Yeah, so I hope you've got enough space to fit it in. I think it works 2 meters by 2 meters, but we'll see. So if I'm there, I've got 1, 2, should work. Alright, so here we go. So forward, I'm going to hold my right hand on top. I'm going to step forward, forward stance, block up. Good. Right, now I'm going to put this hand on top, the one I'm using at the moment. Step forward and block. Good. Alright, so I haven't quite used my 2 meters going this way. Now I'm going to step backwards. The hand I'm using to block at the moment, that goes on top. I step back, make my tug of war stance, and block. Yeah? Good. Now I'm going to put this hand on top, make my tug of war stance, and block. Actually, I've gone a little bit further than 2 meters. So that's not as I hoped, but not too much more. Alright, come on. Good. Right, so let's do it a couple more times. Is it better if I face you? Let me do it facing you. Alright, so here we go. Put my right hand on top, step forward with my left leg. Doesn't matter whether you do left or right, just mirror me so you get the hand and leg thing coordinated. Block up. Good. This hand on top, step forward, block up. That's good. Alright, now we're going to step backwards. So this hand still goes on top, but let's make a tug of war stance. Block up, so we pull ourselves away from the technique that's trying to get us. Put this hand on top, the same again, and block up. And finish. Yeah? So all I'm trying to get you to do, whereas before when we did upper block, we were pushing forward on every stance. So now I'm getting you to push forward when you go forward, but pull back when you come back. Yeah, I hope you can understand, I hope it makes sense. Let's do it once more. Set, should be. Alright, so forward, step forward, block up. Forward stance, pushing forward. Forward, the hand that you're using at the moment, folds on top, step forward, block up. Right, now we're going to go backwards. The hand that we're using at the moment still goes on top. Step back to a back stance, tug of war stance, block. This one, the one we're using on top, tug of war stance, block up. Come on to finish. Alright, good. Now, hope that makes sense to you. You can always rewind it and do it again. Or if you've got any questions, send them in, I'll try and explain. But it's, I think, very straightforward. Pushing forward when you go forward, pulling back when you go back. Good, now we're going to do some technique work now that we do every week. And the reason I wanted to show you the stances first is because I want you to think about those stances when we do the techniques. Yeah? So hopefully I've shown you the stance, but now we'll get to practice it a few more times. Good, alright, so let's go. Make a stance, combat stance, hands up. Good, alright, now we are going to move away from an attack that's coming towards us. Alright, so we're going to step back, we're going to block, push up, yeah? So maybe a technique was going to hit us in the face, we're going to push that out of the way, and then we're going to punch. Alright, now, I need you to transition from one stance to another. I know. It's a lot to think about, isn't it? So, combat stance, nice relaxed position. When you step back, back stance, because that gets you away better than a combat stance. Alright, so this, you can almost argue this is an adjusted combat stance. Right, so we've pulled back this way. Then I want you to return to your combat stance and punch. Yeah, and then go back to where you started. Alright, so I hope that's not too complicated. We'll see how we go. Alright, so we're like this, yeah, we're going to step back, we're going to block up, back stance or a backward combat stance, punch, and then step forward again. Yep, ready? One, so combat stance to begin with, hands up, bring your front foot back, block up, punch, get your hands up to guard, and return to your start position. Ready? Step back, block, punch, guard, and come back to your start position. Right, now the only reason we come back to our start position is to start again, to repeat the drill so we get really good at it. I would never say to you, if someone attacks you, move away, 1, 2, and then move back towards them again. You know, the only reason we're moving back to where we started is to do it again. Alright, so we're here, hands up, step back, block, punch, hands up, and return to your start position. Good, ready, step back, block, punch, hands up, and step back to your start position. Right, let's do 3 more this side, ready, step back, block, punch, hands up to guard, back to your start position. 2 more, step back, block, punch, guard, and return to your start position. And last one, ready, step back, block, punch, hands up, and return to your start position. Alright, good, let's change legs. Right, so this time we're going to step back. The same thing, our front foot moves back. As it moves back, we block, punch, and then come back to our start position. And remember, the only reason you would move forward, or the only reason we are moving forward after doing a defensive move, is to repeat the exercise. We wouldn't actually move forward if we're in a dangerous situation. Alright, ready? So make your stance. 1, step back, back stance, block, punch, guard, and return to your start position. So here, combat stance. 2, step back, back stance, pull yourself away, block, combat stance, punch, guard, come back to your stance, your start position. 3, step back, block, punch, guard, come back to your start position. Hands up. 4, back, block, punch, guard, back to your start position. 5, step back, back stance, block, punch, guard, back to your start position. 6, step back, block, punch, guard, come back to your start position. 7, step back, block, punch, guard, come back to your start position. 8, step back, block, punch, guard, back to your start position. 9, step back, block, punch, guard, return to your start position. Last one. 10, step back, block, punch, guard, and return to your start position. Alright, relax for a second. Good. Right now, I really hope that isn't too complicated. I'm not moving too quickly. If I am, just let me know and I can make some adjustments. But what I would like to do, as we've learned several techniques, I'd like to show you how they work and what the context is, how those things can actually be used and what they mean. Because I think as soon as you begin to understand the meaning rather than just the shape in the air, then you start to say, oh yeah, I get that. Yeah, I see how that works. Yeah, and that's what I really like. I'd like for you to to begin to understand how things work together. Good. Alright, so we've done our basic. We did that to begin with, didn't we? Upper block, going forward and going backwards. We did a block and a punch in that sort of fighting technique section. Alright, so what I want to do now is do a leg technique in this section as well. Yeah? Alright, so let's make a stance this way. Good. Now we haven't done round kick much since we learned it. So what I want us to do is round kick with our back leg, like this, land forward, and then we're going to knee again with our back leg. Alright, so if you want a scenario based thing here, a situational based thing, you could think kick to your opponent's leg, he's going ah, like this, knee, land, and be away, get away. Yeah, I always teach in all of my lessons, whether they're kickboxing, karate, tai chi, anything, I always teach personal safety is about getting to safety, not about winning. Yeah, I would never bother to teach anyone to try and win in a situation. It's all about getting to safety. That, in my opinion, is a win. Good, all right, so here we go. Then we're going to do round kick. Turn around this way, strike. We're going to land forward, and we're going to knee with our back leg. Yep, ready? Here we go then. Keep those hands up, protect the control center. 1, round kick, strike with the shin, knee. Good. Keep your hands up. 2, round kick, strike with the shin, land, knee. 3, kick, strike with the shin, knee. 4, circular kick, knee. 5, circular kick, knee. Keep those hands up. 6, kick, and knee. 7, kick, and knee. 8, circular kick, and knee. 9, circular kick, and knee. 1 more, and 10, circular kick, and knee. Alright, good stuff. Let's change sides, do the same thing on the other leg. Ready? So we're here to start with. I'm going to come round, circular kick with this leg. Ready? 1, circular kick, land, knee. Do round kick, yeah? 2, round kick, hit with the shin, land, knee. 3, circular kick, strike with the shin, knee. 4, round kick, back knee. 5, round kick, back knee. 6, round kick, back knee. 7, round kick, back knee. 8, kick, and the shin, and knee. 9, round kick, and knee. 1 more, and 10, round kick, land, and knee. Good. All right, so you can practice those. Remember, keep it real, as it were. Make sure the techniques you're practicing are effective and good, but also remember, it's the exercise value that's doing you the most good and the thing that is definitely going to help you. All right, so this this week's Qigong exercise, or my version of a Qigong exercise, is parting the clouds. As always, it's as much about breathing as it is the physical movement. So we're going to soften those knees. We're drawing up here. Right now, I just breathed out through my mouth, just to illustrate an outward breath really. But I actually prefer to breathe out through my nose as well. Always in through my nose, and pretty much always out through my nose. But obviously, when I'm explaining to you outward breath, if I do that, it's a bit easier than, it's not so easy for you to see with me breathing out through my nose. Alright, so come on, let's give this a try. So, feet a little wider than your shoulders, soften your knees. You're going to bring your hands up this way, elbows up high, all the way up above your head, still breathing in from here, and then let those hands float down. Ready? Hopefully you can feel how the exercise, the movement, helps you to fill your lungs. Alright, now, do you remember last week I got you to hold your breath at one of the points in the movement? I'm going to get you to do the same. So I'm going to get you to hold your breath here. Pause and hold. But remember, it must be a relaxed holding of your breath. Controlled and easy. Not stressful and difficult. Okay? Alright, so let's give it a try. Ready? So we'll begin here. Breathe in. Hold it. In. Hold. In. Alright, good. I find the Qigong, those exercises, the breathing exercises, I find them really beneficial, really relaxing, and really calming at the end of a class sometimes. Alright, brilliant. So this is lesson 5. We've got one more lesson left. Look forward to seeing you there. Remember though, practice this lesson a couple of more times before you do number 6. Alright, look forward to seeing you soon.